Hello. Happy Friday. It's not Friday. Happy Wednesday. Oh, happy Wednesday. We are doing Paint Your Style. And we're doing it with something quite fun this week, actually. Okay, dashboard's not showing anything. Are we actually live? Are we only just live? Yes, great. I love dashboard. So, a happy Wednesday. In the first 30 seconds that didn't air, I figured out what day of the week it was. And we're doing something quite fun with this week's Paint Your Style. Mom, while I was in Chicago, was actually in France and offered to run an errand for me. And that errand was that she went to the Sennelier store. And I sent her, what I did was I went through the Sennelier color list and I circled anything that looked interesting, but said to her, just based off of this list, just like get something. And so she did. Mom has picked a palette that I've totally forgotten what it was because I have looked at these colors once and that was 2.5 weeks ago. Life's been a bit busy. So we are going to open these up and do this week's Paint Your Style with them. I do know from Mom that what she picked was a mixing palette in her words. So Mom is a much larger fan of color mixing than I am from the primaries, and so I will assume that she has picked a pretty standard mixing palette. So this is going to be quite interesting. This week's Paint Your Style is fun, and of course I do not have the image pulled up, so let's do that fast because that would be too organized to have it already ready to go. But it's just been one of those days. There it is. Our very skinny reference photo. There we go. We've got the reference picture. We have, I think we're ready to go. Oh, so let's see what Mom purchased as our color palette. I do know that there is one non-Sennelier paint in this because I was having a whole bunch of trouble finding it here. There were 2 colors I sent her looking for that were non-Sennelier, and only one of them was in stock at Sennelier. So she bought it, the one. She wasn't able to find the other. So we're going to start with the non-Sennelier, which is Daniel Smith Potter's Pink. If you've been around, you'll know that I'm a fan of Potter's Pink, and I've wanted to try the Daniel Smith one for a really long time, and I can never find it in stock. So, Daniel Smith Potter's Pink, and there's a Daniel Smith Rare Green Earth that's actually just PG-23. I've been on the hunt for both of them. I haven't been able to find either of them here, and so they were on my list of colors that I had Mom looking for in France, and she was able to find the Potter's Pink. So we're going to start by putting this in a half pan, and then we will pull out the other colors that Mom purchased. Here's Potter's Pink. It's been a while since we've added a new Potter's Pink to the palette. It's been a long time since I've opened a tube of Daniel Smith as well, because I forgot about that. All right. There is one brand that like seals off the top of their tubes, and you have to poke them with a little thing to like get into them. And I always wish it was Daniel Smith that did that. Because really, oh, I'm gonna end up wiping this out with paper towel, just so that this doesn't end up totally ruining the cap. Because I have had Daniel Smith tubes dry out because of stuff getting stuck in the cap tines when they explode, which is really annoying. They overfill their tubes and then they dry out in the tubes because paint gets stuck in the tines. So. Sure, I'm gonna call that good enough. It's not perfect, but honestly, it doesn't have to be. So, even though I tend to use this for drying stuff, there are opportunities where paper towel or Kleenex is more useful, especially when you're cleaning out a cap or you're like trying to dab paint off of a page to lighten a section. You don't want to use something that's got other color on it. And then, oh yeah, they're all half cans. Okay, I'm gonna start with the one that's flipped up, which is Primary Yellow, which I believe is my favorite yellow pigment. I believe their primary yellow is PY74, which is my favorite yellow pigment. It is Cosmic Creations Buzzy Bee, and I had it on my list because I wanted to try a larger brand's version of a pigment that I loved. Then we have, ooh, Cobalt Green. Is this a PG50? Nope, it's a PG36. All right. Cool. Alizarian Crimson. Is this a genuine? It is a genuine. It's the 83 version, which is my favorite version of Alizarian Crimson. It's not super light fast, but it is a stunning color, and because most of my work doesn't get displayed, I don't really care about light fastness. It doesn't really matter. Everything's on like little pages that live in books and stuff, and so it doesn't matter. I just use the colors I like, which means I think you are neutral tint. All right. Which is PB60, PBK77, PBK7, and PR209. Oh, so it's got quinacridone maroon in it. Interesting. So I don't know if these are labeled, so we're gonna find that out. But this is great fun. Because really, I just looked at their site and circled things that I thought were pretty. Ah! You're going adventuring. I don't want you to go adventuring. I'm keeping your tags for later, because I need to label all of you. You are... your neutral tint. I wasn't going to do a mixing thing with these before we paint with them. I was just going to jump into this painting. And I think that's still the case. Because for the most part, these are pigments that I'm familiar with, just in a different brand. What is this? This is primary yellow. Primary yellow. So I have some Sennelier pigments in my palette, but our local art store in Canada has discontinued their Sennelier, or discontinued carrying Sennelier, and so I really only bought their quinacridone gold because it was on clearance. Cobalt green. Primary yellow's got like a piece of metal on the top of it. At some point it'll come out. Yeah, it's just like a piece of the aluminum that got stuck. So, it's a very moody mountain landscape this month. Not this month. We get a new prompt every week. We are back with the little meet-in sheets because I am pretty much out of those squares of paper. And I haven't gotten more. So we're going to use these meet-in sheets for a while. And I am this week, though, going to tape out background. I think you're too tall. There. Down a notch. So let's give you an outline. Or should you be this way? I think you should be this way. It's rare that we have a paint your style that goes this way. And I've got a massive palette out because there's going to be a whole lot of color mixing for this. I didn't grab scrap paper though. Is that scrap? Nope. That's Arches. But is it Arches Rough? It is Arches Rough, so it could be scrap. Bought a single sheet of Arches Rough and I absolutely despise it. So I'm using it for odd projects like 31 Purple Fish swatch cards. That's not a straight line. All right, page is taped. We have our color palette. Neutral tint. It's very murky water. All right, let's pre-wet everything. I want that, I want that, I want that. There's my tiny. There we go. We have brushes. We have paints that are pre-wet, or wetting. There's a lot of green in this. kind of mixing a lot of greens and yellows. Where's a brush that's not very pretty anymore? I would say that you are not very pretty anymore. You are now my mixing brush. Oh, I forgot how nicely these re-wet. That is the joy of honey-based paints. All right. We're just gonna go for this, honestly. We're gonna do this all with a Tintoretto because all right. Some more neutral tint. Just getting rid of that harsh line. All right. grab some of this. This tape really doesn't want to stick to this paper. Okay. Okay. I'm leaving the water for last. Those are the weirdest mountains I've ever done. Oh, we're just getting worse. I'd say. There we go. Let's let that dry. We're struggling today. It's a bit of a hot mess. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. What are we going to go back to? We are going to start by going back to this island. I'm actually not angry about this one. So we're going to go back to the hot mess that is this. And grab some primary yellow and toss it into this with some more of the Potter's pink. Because really, I just want to make, a glaze. I want mountain glaze. Okay. That looks more rocky. going to do a very light version of that down here. Because I think this needs to just be more brown. Because I also need some more of that in there. All right. I think that's better. So are we going to glaze that island in a similar way? All right, we're getting somewhere. And we're gonna go back to that mountain. And I think I'm gonna start by just going in with neutral tint. Because I'm almost wondering if that will fix. All right. Oh, we're getting some weird lines now. I just can't get the movement I want up there. Yeah, let's try it. All right, after looking at this reference some more, what I really need are actually the lines like that. Like the mountains are very much, they have the weird dry lines that I normally don't like, that sort of differentiate the different hills and valleys, and that's how different colors are being marked in. Okay, so now I get to put in some of this very watery green right here. Let's see if I can that up. Partially pick that up. So it's yes, no. Let's play fill in the hole. All right, there we go. This week's Paint Your Style with a color palette that I've never painted before because I only open the paints on this stream. So let's make a swatch card. Where did I put the swatch cards? There are the swatch cards. Oh, this was a hard one. I didn't think it was going to be as hard as it was. So we have Sennelier Primary Yellow. I will say I absolutely love the Sennelier paints. I am more in love with them in the pan form than I am in the tubes. I find them really sticky from the tubes. I am absolutely obsessed with them in pan form. This is their Cobalt Green. This is Alizarian Crimson Lake, which I don't know that we actually used. I think I just used the Daniel Smith Potter's Pink, but I might have grabbed it at one point, so I'm going to put it on this card just in case. This is their neutral tint. It is a very purple neutral tint. It is like shadow violet purple. And then we've got Daniel Smith Potter's Pink, which is a very, I would say, medium. Maybe it's a dark Potter's. What are we going to use? We'll use this. So this is a Pilot Prayer with Mont Blanc Cool Gray in it. I don't even know how you spell Sennelier. This is tag for neutral tint. It is It's interesting that it's got quinacridone maroon in it. You see very few things with quinacridone maroon in the mix. This is PR 233? Question mark. Yeah, that's the code for Potter's Pink. Today's date is, so this is PYS, May 29th, 2024. Oh, normally I do that on the back. Well, whatever. This is PYS 2024. Well, that was fun. Really interesting to do it with paints that I only opened on this stream. Because I had sent Mom to Sennelier with a... I sent what was a massive list. Because what I did was I went through the entire Sennelier collection and just circled anything that looked interesting, not knowing what they'd have in stock. And so it meant that she had quite a lot of freedom to pick, which is quite a lot of fun. And so I'm really happy with what she picked. It was quite a lot of fun to use the limited quad she bought plus the Potter's Pink she picked up for me. So I hope you enjoyed watching this week's Paint Your Style. I think there'll be another live stream today because I have all of the ink swatches from the Chicago Pen Show to still go through, and I think I want to do that today. It's been on my list for a couple weeks, and I think I finally want to get it done. So I think that'll probably happen in a couple of hours. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope this inspires you to either paint with a limited palette or try Paint Your Style even if you don't feel confident in it. Because honestly, like, this isn't my favorite Paint Your Style I've done, but it was fun to try. It was fun to do. And I do really enjoy Paint Your Styles for just getting out of my own head. So thanks for watching.